the only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is you. The higher I soar, the harder I fall. And sometimes the dreams are hurt me. And disappointments can keep me blinded.
Amen. I like that.
But when I'm reminded of sweet peace I have for you, the only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is in you.
Amen.
The only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is in you. With all life's temptations, I need you, and I know I do. 'Cause the only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is in you. Only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is in you.
Amen.
The only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is in you. With all my temptations, I need you, and I know I do. 'Cause the only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is in you. With all life's temptations, I need you, and I know I do. 'Cause the only real peace that I have, dear Lord, is in you.
Beautiful song. Peace is one of God's greatest gift to believers. John chapter 13 verse John 14:27 tells us, ang sabi ng Bible, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you, let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Sa mundo natin ngayon, ang mga tao na takot na takot. Merong Chinese national, kala nila merong coronavirus sa yung pangalasin na.
Korean.
Dahil very paranoid na sila pagdating sa coronavirus. Pero salamat sa mananampalataya in this world, apart from God's mercies, walang safe place. Sapagkat kahit nasaan ka, if you are in God's hands, you are always safe. Are you happy this morning? Hindi naman kayo dyan mga kapatid. Medyo malaglag yung ating panahon. Medyo nakakantok at salamat for God making us up today. And we have prayed for this to rejoice last week. We're so happy to see her today. Salamat ng Diyos ay tumutugon ang ating panalangin. And last week, we were able to conduct funeral service at Ma'am Joanne's mother. At inilibing na po noong first day. Salamat. Di ba natin alam, di makakatulog ako, pero salamat dahil yung salita ng Diyos ay tunay na buhay. At nagpapasalamat tayo sa natapos na funeral service that the Lord saves, they saves, and also last Friday, we had a very successful Philippine banquet. Salamat po sa mga adults that helped after na Philippine banquet biglang ulan. Salamat, tinapos muna. Pagkakat late na natapos, masabi ko alas 10 na, but the young people still stayed and we were able to be blessed by the interpretation of God's Word. And this week, we have 13 professions of faith and 9 doors knocking. All that's people say. Praise the Lord. Yan ang joy ng ating church na meron tayo nalalaman na meron naliligtas. At yung iba, nakakatawa, yung mga love story ng mga nagturo, Ate Girlie, Sister Jabia, si Teresa nagturo, si Honey. Tapos karamihan nagturo, may asawa ako na wala. nagpapasalamat kasi magandang eye-opener sa mga kabataan kasi madalas ang kabataan, alam lang nila sa mga asawa, yung kilig-kilig. Pero hindi sapat yun, baka manginig ka sa gilid. Pag na-high blood ka na, yun ang realidad ng buhay. And we praise the Lord for that, and we're so happy to see this morning. Tayo po kayong lahat, and let's finish this message. Acts chapter 20, please. Basahin po natin ang verse 24, last verse. Let's look our third point this morning. Till next week, I wish another message. Acts chapter 20 in verse 24. Are you there? None of these things move me. It's good to start our year by knowing kung ano yung mga bagay na pwedeng magpatumba sa atin so that we will counter-attack it. Acts chapter 20, verse 24. Let's read this all together. Ready to begin. But none of these things move me, neither count I my life dear unto myself, so that I might finish my course with joy, and the ministry which I have received of the Lord Jesus, to testify the gospel of the grace of God. The person who said this was the Apostle Paul, and I believe we have learned so much from his life. And if you will really want to be blessed, study his life and you will be amazed how God was so powerful to him. Let's ask the Lord to bless the message. Salamat po ngayong umaga for the opportunity to once again hear thy word. As we have said, that we should be ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. And Lord, we pray this morning of your word will continue to be preached, and your name will be exalted in our midst. We ask for your guidance and your leadership. And we pray also, Lord, for our brethren who are not here this morning, at kung namin alam, baka sila may pinagdaraan ng problema, kaya namin natulong sila na ibigay lahat ng kanilang mga kabigatan sa inyo sapagkat you care for us. And even the message that we're about to listen, give us a tender heart that is ready to receive the engrafted word which is able to build us up. Bless the message as well as the messenger. As John the Baptist said, you must increase and I must decrease. Use me as your mouthpiece. Huwag umayaan, Panginoon, ng kaaway ay manggambala bago sa inyong salita. We'll have the liberty to be preached. And Lord, thank you for the songs that we have just heard. It talks about abide in you. It talks about, Lord, that apart from Christ, Christian life cannot be done in our own strength. That's why we have to make sure that we are attached to the vine. And also, Lord, for the special that we have read, heard, it talks about your peace, that past all understanding shall keep our hearts and minds through Jesus Christ. Bless the rest of the service we have in Jesus' name we pray. And all God's people say, Amen. We have already studied that the Apostle Paul, people will not move me. That's a commitment. Kahit anong sabihin ng tao, anong gawin sa kanya ng tao, hindi ako magpapatinag. And we should have that kind of commitment as well. Do not allow any single person to steal your joy in serving the Lord. Not only people won't move me, he said, also problems won't move him. Praise the Lord for his life. Sapagkat kahit anong problema dumating sa kanya, he was bound in the Spirit. He was compelled to do the things of God. He was burdened for the things of God. And he was busy for the things of God. Kaya pag tayo po ay busy sa gawain ng Diyos, wala na tayong time na alalahanin, intindihin pa kung ano yung sasabihin ng iba. Ang pinakamahalaga, mga kapatid, para hindi tayo mausod ng problema, ang mahalaga yung sasabihin ng Diyos. And someday when we come before Him, God will say for us, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Enter into the joy of the Lord. And third is this. Maaaring yung tao, hindi ka mausod. Ang problema ay hindi ka mausod. But third, maging maingat po tayo sapagkat all of us have pride. Paul said, pride will not move him. Look at verse 24. Tingnan niyo po yung the key verse here. Bakit kahit anong sabihin ng tao, anong isipin sa kanya ng tao, anong problema ang dumating, why he was still unmoved? Is the key verse. Look at our text. He said, but none of these things move me, neither count I my life dear unto myself. That's the key word there. Neither count I my life dear unto myself. You know the reason why sometimes people, believers are so nahihirapan sila maglingkod, nahihirapan sila magpatuloy sapagkat instead of being full of Christ, they are being full of self. And the greatest enemy of our Christian life is not the person seated beside you, it is yourself. But here we see Paul was selfless. He did not even regard his life as important to him. Ang sabi niya, neither count I my life dear unto myself. Alam niyo ito yung problema ng tao, bakit hindi makasunod sa Panginoon completely and fully? Because they love their self more than they love God. Again, that's the first requirement. You want to follow the Lord? If any man will come after me and take up not his cross and follow me, he cannot be mine. Disciple, listen, we are commanded to hate our life, not to love it. We are commanded to lose our life for Christ's sake. So here Paul, why he was unmoved? Because he didn't allow pride to move him. Ang problema natin kung minsan pag mahal na mahal natin ang ating sarili, mabilis tayong matison, mabilis tayong masaktan, konting problema lang ayaw natin. Bakit po? We count our life dear unto ourselves. Alam mo, nung naligtas si Apostol Paul, hindi na mahalaga yung buhay niya. Ang mahalaga na ang Diyos ng buhay niya. Kaya pag tayo hindi naging mag-ingat dito, makakapagpapit, all of us have pride. And sometimes, pag tayo pinagpapala, pag tayo ay nakararanas ng mga material ng pagpapala, kung minsan, kung hindi tayo maging maingat, nagiging mayabang po tayo, we become high-minded. We tend to boast before the Lord and say, Lord, hindi kita kailangan. But listen, do not ever allow pride to move you. Huwag mong isipin na kung wala ang Diyos, okay lang. Paul said in 2 Corinthians, not to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 tells us, chapter 3 verse 5, now that we are sufficient of ourselves to think anything as of ourselves, but our sufficiency is of God. Our sufficiency is of God. Hindi po tayo mga kapatid. Kaya kung ikaw, minsan, mag-ingat tayo, pag tayo pinagpapalang material, our hearts will be lifted up with pride. All of us have pride. And all of us can fall into the sin of being proud before the Lord. So pride won't move him. Go back to our text. How did he overcome pride? Look at verse 24. He learned to value God's will more than his will. You want to overcome your pride? Value God's will more than your will. Look at verse 24. He said, but none of these things move me. Neither count I my life dear unto myself, that I might finish my course with joy in the ministry. Ano yung kasama po sa ating tapuhin, yung ating panawagan sa paglilingkod? Tatandaan niyo po, hindi ka lang niligtas ng Diyos para maligtas. Iniligtas ka niya so that He can use you in the ministry. So that you might finish your course with joy, and it does not stop there. And the ministry. Kalaki po sa ating panawagan ay ang paglilingkod sa Panginoon. Ang problema, pag hindi natin na-overcome ang kayamanan, mga kapatid, ang isip natin parete, my will, my want, and my desire. So but Paul said, not my will, I might finish my course with joy and the ministry. Paul recognized and realized that Christ is the source of his ministry. Hindi mahalaga yung kanyang kagustuhan. Ang problema kung minsan bakit ang mga maraming mananampalataya nawawala sa paglilingkod sapagkat mas pinapahalaga ng sariling kagustuhan kaysa ang kagustuhan ng Diyos. Alam niyo po, pag minahal natin ang ating sarili, we will start to make wrong decisions. We are called to lose our lives so that we might find it. Because when you find your life, you will definitely lose it. Look at how did Christ finish His race? Go to Hebrews chapter 11 and verses 1 and 2. Hindi natin matatapos ng matagumpay ang ating karera na ibinigay at nilaan sa atin ng Diyos kung mas mahal natin ang ating gusto kaysa ang gusto ng Diyos. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 1 tells us, "Wherefore seeing we also are compassed with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him," look at the word "set before him," "endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God." Kaya before ang Panginoon, before He died, ang sabi niya, Lord, He prayed Christ, He besought the Lord Christ, like the Apostle Paul did. He besought the Lord Christ. How many times did Christ pray? How many times? Ilan? Christ, di ba? Ginaya ni Apostle Paul yun. Pero at the end of his third prayer, ang sabi ng Panginoon Jesus, "Lord, not my will, but thine be done." Why? He did not value his will more than God's will. Paul said in Galatians 2:20, "Not I, but Christ." Alam niyo, pag wala tayong ganyang pag-iisip, mahirap po natin gampanan ang gusto ng Diyos. The greatest enemy of our life is our own will. Kung tatanungin po tayo, marami tayong gusto sa buhay na hindi nangyari. Yung iba gusto nilang pumayat, pero hindi sila pumayat. And you are so frustrated, Lord, bakit yung pumapayat, di ba? Yung iba naman, gusto nilang maging engineer, unfortunately, hindi sila magaling sa math. Yung iba gusto maging mayaman, kaso hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin mayaman. Marami tayong gusto sa buhay natin na hindi nangyayari. Pero ang pinakamahalaga pa rin, Lord, not what I want, nor what I used to be, or where I used to go, but who am I that I should choose my way. Dapat po ang Diyos ang parating nasusunod. And if God's will be done, then be done, so be it. Paul started by accounting, he said, I count not my life dear unto myself. You know what? Tragically, believers leave the ministry and leave the church not because of people problems, but because of pride. They have this kind of attitude, "Oh, I don't deserve that." You have that kind of attitude, "I don't deserve that" attitude. Alam mo, para ma-appreciate mo ang pagpapala ng Panginoon, tignan mo that even His least blessings is a great blessing. Alam niyo, minsan ang kala lang kasi natin sa blessing, yung material, yung pera. What about yung mga bagay na hindi kaya bilhin ng pera? The peace, the joy, the possible understanding, the joy of serving. You see, maraming bagay ang pera na hindi kaya pilihin. So instead of looking for the things that you don't have, bless and thank the Lord for the things that you have. Maraming may mayayaman, pero walang anak. Ikaw anong meron ka, kahit ikaw mayaman, meron ka. Di ba blessing yan? O kung wala ka namang anak, at least na-enjoy mo ang buhay mong pag-asawa. Kasi pag may anak ka na, ako mapunta na yung attention mo sa anak. Kaya maraming tao nagtatakbo sa Panginoon. Ang sinasabi nila, ayoko na, ang hirap-hirap ng buhay ko. Look at the life of Christ. He is the creator of the universe. Kung meron man dito ang pinaka-naghari at nag-enjoy ng kanyang nilalang at nilikha, walang iba kundi ang Panginoong Jesus. But when He came to earth, He came not to be ministered, but to minister and gave Himself a ransom for many.
Amen.
Christ was selfless. Maraming tao, they want to please their own self instead of pleasing God. Alam niyo, hindi tayo tatagal sa gawain at paglilingkod sa Panginoon. Pag ang gusto natin, pinigmis natin ang ating sarili. And sometimes, people leave the church and leave the ministry because they did not feel good. Alam niyo, hindi ka nag-minister to feel good. Because sometimes, you will feel bad. Minsan, ayaw mo nang gawin ang ginagawa mo, but still do it. Huwag mo hayaan ang kayabangan ay kainin ang puso mo at sabihin, kung tinan mo, naglilingkod ka, pero tinan mo, hindi ka pinapansin. Dinidisregard mo lang, parang yung ginagawa mo, hindi pinapahalagahan. Huwag mo hayaan na bulungan ka at palakiin ang ulo mo ng kayabangan. Pastor Chappell once said, the greatest danger of our spiritual lives is ourselves. Don't allow pride to creep in our hearts. That's the attitude of Paul. He did not value his will over God's ministry. Minsan, ang dahilan talaga bakit ayaw maglingkod ng tao, mayabang. Alam niyo, mga tao gumagawa ng paglilingkod, gumagawa lang po niya yung mga taong hambol. Ang Panginoon mamamatay na, alam niya in His foreknowledge, in His divine wisdom, alam niya what He was about to face, and yet, makikita mo siya, He was ready. Wala kang mabasa sa Bible na ang Panginoon kahit pagod nagre-reklamo dahil sa ministry. Why? He was not full of himself, instead He was full of God. Kaya pag tayo punong-puno ng sarili mga kapatid, tayo mismo ang maghahadlang ng pagpapalan ng Panginoon sa buhay natin. One more quotation that I read, the only hope of a decreasing self is an increasing Christ. Ayan po ang tanging pag-asa sa bumababang sarili ay nakikita at tumataas na Panginoong Jesus. That should be the attitude of every one of us. Na gumawa ka ng isang bagay, naglingkod ka mga kapatid, tatandaan niyo po, whether you like it or not, all of us are decreasing. Pero ang sagot at ang pag-asa sa decreasing self is an increasing Christ. Kaya nga alam niyo po, ang sakit minsan, ang problema, pagpapala yan in disguise, so that Christ will be magnified in our body. Dapat mayabang ka, pag nagkasakit ka sabi mo, Panginoon, ligtas naman ako, dapat naman ako, bakit nangyayari sa amin ito? The only hope of decreasing self is an increasing Christ. Kaya dapat po sa lahat ng ating pagpapaba, makita natin ang Panginoon na maitaas natin sa buhay natin. At katulad ng sabi ni Apostle Paul, I count on my life dear unto myself. Mahirap po maglingkod pag yung sarili natin, gusto natin ding may angat. Kasi pag ikaw hindi ka na napansin, magtatampo ka. Tatandaan niyo kung wala kang mababasa sa Biblia, kapag naglingkod ka, you will be safeguard from problems. In fact, you will experience so many strange things. Basahin mo ang 1 Peter na may maraming mangyayari sa iyo that there will come a time that strange things will happen to you even if you are faithful to the Lord. Pero huwag mong hayaan ang kayabangan, kainit lamunin ang ating paglilingkod sa Panginoon. Listen to this. When we learn to think more of Christ, serving becomes a delight. Paul said in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, in verses 14 and 15, if you would go there, he said this, what he said. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, for the love of Christ constrained us, because we thus judge that if one died for all, then we're all dead. That he died for all, that they which live should not henceforth live unto themselves, but unto Him which died for them and rose again. When he thought about Christ, listen, sabi niya, kahit anong mananasa ko, serving becomes my delight. Why? Because God's Christ love constrained him to do that. Di ba ang tao umiibig? Hindi kabigatan sa kanyang ginagawa. Ang kanyang pagsasakripisyo ay isang delight. Kaya pag ng tao umiibig, kahit yan ay naantok na dilat pa rin yan. Bakit? Delight, umiibig eh. Ganun din si Apostle Paul, when he think about Christ, serving becomes his delight. Listen, when we learn to think more of Christ, giving becomes a delight. In 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1, moreover, my brethren, we do it to be of the grace of God bestowed in the church of Macedonia, how in the great trial of affliction and in their deep poverty, the riches of their liberality abounded. Pagdating mo sa verse 8 and 9, nakikita mo doon, the very example of grace is no other than Christ, that He became poor, so that He, through His poverty, might be rich. Kaya ang pagbibigay sa Kristiyano, pag naisip mong ginawa ng Panginoon, ang pagbibigay becomes a delight. When we learn to think more of Christ, loving the unlovable becomes our delight. Di ba minahal tayo ng Panginoon, kahit tayo hindi kayo ibig-ibig? Kaya pag nahihirapan kang mahalin ng kapwa mo na hindi ka ibig-ibig, sinong dapat mong isipin? Lord, kung ang Panginoong Jesus pinahali kong magnanakaw na walang hiya, pinatawad pa rin at kinasama pa rin sa langit at gusto pa rin makasama sa langit kahit palasukas mo ng paskos. Panginoon, tulungan mo ako na gano'n ang isip ko sa iyo. Anong klaseng isip ang meron tayo? More of self or more of Christ? Kaya madalis tayo masaktan eh. Kasi ang pag-iisip natin hindi more of Christ, instead more of self. One more, when we learn to think more of Christ, sacrifice becomes a delight. Yan ang sabi ni Apostle Paul. Kaya yung kanyang ginagawa, hindi maging, tinan mo ha, mapapatay na siya, pero tinan mo yung attitude niya. Philippians chapter 2 verse 17. Look at what he said. He said, yeah, and if I be offered upon the sacrifice and service of your faith, he said, I joy. And rejoice with you all. Sa Tagalog po, kahit ako'y mamatay sa inyong panatay, sa inyong pananampalataya ko, magagagalak ako at hinahabol ko kayo, magalak din kayo sa akin. What an attitude. Bakit po? Sapagkat alam niya na walang sakripisyo na pwede niyang gawin na tumpasan ang sakripisyo ng ginawa ng Panginoon. Kala mo minsan may sakit ka lang, magsimba ka, kala mo sakripisyo na yan. Look at what Christ did. When we learn to think more of Christ, sacrifice becomes a delight. When we learn to think more of Christ, our yoke becomes easy. And our burdens becomes light. Problema ka na sa problema mo. Tignan mo how the Lord experienced so many things and hardships, and yet He was unmoved. That's why He said in Matthew chapter 11, come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon me, and learn of me, and for my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Nagiging light ang problema natin, lahat ng kabigatan natin when we learn to think more of Christ. That's the answer, the only hope of decreasing self is Christ. Yan lang po ang tanging sagot sa ating nabababang mga katayuan. When we learn to think more of Christ, listen to this, we learn that He alone deserves to be praised, obeyed, and honored. In Acts chapter 9, Paul, in post-conversion, alam mo, nung kakaligtas niya pa lang, the Lord met him on his way to Damascus. What was his response? Lord, what do I have? Ano ba kayo yung phrase na sinabi niya? Let me read it to you. When Christ met him on his road to Damascus, ang sabi niya, who art thou, Lord? And he trembling and astonished said, Lord, what wilt thou have me to do? See that? Naintindihan niya na kung meron mang dapat siyang purihin, sundin, at inuklog sa kanyang buhay, walang iba kundi ang Panginoon. Nakikita mo ba ang Panginoon sa buhay ko? Kasi pag di mo makita, meaning masyadong malaki yung sarili mo at hindi mo makita ang katapilaan ng Diyos. At alam niyo lahat tayo mga kapatid, when we are exposed to the glory of Christ, lahat po tayo isa lang magiging respond natin that every tongue and every tongue should confess that Jesus is Lord, and every knee should bow. It will bring us to humility. Again, what is the opposite of pride? Humility. Para makita natin ang ating kayabangan, ikumpara natin ang sarili natin sa Panginoon. At makikita mo kung gaano tayo mayaman at gaano tayo kahapon. When we learn to think more of Christ, we learn to think less of ourselves. Philippians 2:16, Paul said in the book of Philippians, let this mind be in you, which is of Christ Jesus. Diba sabi niya, let this mind who thought not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation. Kaya ang pag-iisip niya, Christ-like eh. Nakita niyo yung kanyang sarili as less. Alam niyo po, ang bida sa Christian life natin, hindi tayo. We find our identity in Christ. Hindi ang isip natin, kaya nga po ang Kristiyano, hindi dapat isip mundo eh. Kung meron man dapat tayo tinatransform yung pag-iisip ng Panginoon, doon tayo nababagay. Kung ang mundo nanliligaw, hindi nagpapaalam, ikaw ang magpapaligaw, agad yung nanliligaw sa hindi nagpapaalam sa magulang mo. That's for the courtship. We should be biblical courtship. When someone wants to court you, then a person should ask permission from your parents and from the pastor. If that person is really serious and sincere. Maraming babae ngayon, nakuha lang sa messenger, bumigay na. Hindi mahalaga yung ano yung sasabihin ng tao, mahalaga, Panginoon, ano ang gusto mo. Eh kung ang gusto ng Diyos sa atin, sa iyo maging single forever, then so be it. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy, but if you will learn to allow the Lord to direct your steps, then thy will be done. Again, huwag po mamuna yung gusto natin sapagkat lahat ng gusto ng natin at hindi gusto ng Diyos, it will end up in misery. You understand? Are you still there? When we learn to think more of Christ, he said, we forget self. Alam mo yung ganda ng attitude ni Paul in Philippians chapter 3 verse 7. Sinabi niya yung kanyang katayuan, I am a Benjamin of Benjamin, Pharisee of the Pharisee. I was circumcised the 8th day. Pero alam mo, nung kinumpara niya yung buhay niya sa Panginoon, sabi niya, lahat ng bagay na akala mong gain sa akin, I count it all loss that I may win Christ. Alam mo bakit mo makalimutan ng sarili mo? Kasi punong-puno ka ng sarili mo. Kaya ang hirap mong isipin ng Panginoon, ang hirap mong isipin ng paglilingkod, at sa iyo, paglilingkod, ang bigat-bigat, kahit hindi naman, bakit? Masyado kang makasakilid. Eh, minsan, konting usog lang ng problema kasi hindi ka na makatayo. Why? Because of pride. Listen, pag hindi natin napagtagumpayin ng pride na yan, pride goeth before destruction and an Holy Spirit before a fall. Definitely, we will fall. Kaya mahalaga parati na ilagay natin ang ating sarili sa kamay ng Diyos that we are sure and certain, the Lord, alam ko, meron kang plano sa akin. Lahat po na nangyayari sa buhay natin, walang aksidente dyan. Why was the Apostle Paul remain true and faithful unto death? In fact, in chapter 21 ng Acts, alam niya mamamatay na siya. Pero sabi niya pa rin, bakit kayo umiiyak dahil kayo mamamatay? Hindi lang ako handang makulong, handa pa akong mamatay sa Panginoon. Why? Because he learned to value God's will more than his will. You have that kind of attitude. O konting masaktan ka lang, ayaw mo na maglingkod. Sabi ko, ayoko, na-hurt ako eh. Hindi ko matanggap, ganyan ang sinabi sa akin eh. Alam mo, problema mo, hindi yung ibang tao na nasabi sa'yo ng mali. Sarili mo dahil mayabang na. Paano pag wala na nag-appreciate sa'yo? Maglilingkod ka pa ba? Ginawa ko yan, tapos niya ako napansin. Huwag ka mag-alala, there's a rewarding day in heaven. Hindi ka man magandang palaan dito, someday God is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love. Kaya kung minsan, kitang-kita pag ginagawa talaga natin out of yabang, pag di tayo napansin, gagaling tayo, nagpatampo tayo. Eh, so what kung hindi ka mapansin? Kung alam mo naman ginawa mo sa Panginoon. Hello? Pride. He learned to find his acceptance in Christ. Kaya sabi niya, kahit hindi niya ko tanggap, in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, kahit hindi niya ko tanggap, as long that Christ commends me, wala akong pakialam sa inyo. Do you have that kind of attitude? Bakit? He realized that if I die, I am the Lord. So what? It's not my life. Lord, thy will be done. Alam niyo po, ang problema ng yabang, pag meron tayong pride at hindi natin napagtagumpayan, listen to this. Pride is the root of compromise. Pag ikaw mayabang ka, pakita mo yung sarili mo parati kung saan ka aayon. Kasi you find your acceptance apart from Christ eh. So, you will begin to find acceptance from other people. Kaya susutin mo kahit hindi tagay sa'yo. Gagawin mo kahit ayaw mo. Bakit? Yabang. Maraming tao ganyan, kahit hindi naman sa kanila bagay, ba't nila ginagawa? They find their acceptance from others. That's the root of compromise. Pride is the root of contention. Only by pride cometh contention. Kaya sa mag-asawa, madalas nag-aaway, nagtatalo sapagkat parehas mayabang. Sinabihan ng lalaki, magpasakop ka nga. Ay, paano ko magpapasakop sa'yo? Hindi ka naman papasakop-sakop, boy, sa Bible. Kahit ang lalaki, hindi ka respeto. Sabi ng Bible, ang babae dapat nire-respeto ng lalaki. Waliwala na sa Ephesians chapter 5 that the women should reverence her husband. Have you read that? Sabi ng isang babae, hindi ako naniniwala sa sabihin sapagkat pag ang lalaki hindi maayos, hindi dapat ako magpasakop, hindi mo alam ang Bible mo. May nagsabing ganyan. Paano pala yung kay Sarah? Di ba mali na si Abraham? Sabi ni Abraham, sabihin mo kapatid kita, hindi kita asawa. Sabi mo doon sa Pilistino, wag mo sabihin kapatid kita, Les, pag nalaman nila, baka patayin ako. But look at the attitude of Sarah. She's still obeying. But look at who protected her. The Lord. The Lord delivered her. Kaya hindi ibig sabihin yung asawa mong maang-maang, hindi ka na magpapasako. Mamaang-maang, di ba? Kasi pinatulan, mamaang-maang pala kayo, sinisiraan ko. And I believe this with all my heart. Kung kayo may asawa, huwag mong sirain ang asawa mo in other people. One flesh kayo. Ang kasiraan mo, kasiraan niya. Hello? Nandiyan pa ba kayo mga kapatid? Itong asawa ko tatamad kasi, ganito kasi. Reklamo mo na lang sa Diyos, isumbong mo na lang sa Lord. Ang trabaho mo, magpasahog ka. Kaya mahilig ka makipagtalo. Pero may nakita ng tao na mahilig makipagtalo, parang lahat ng tao ata inaawal. Source ng yabang yan, mga kapatid. Sign ng yabang yan. Pride is the root of critical spirit. Bakit critical ang spirit mo with other people? Because you are proud. Ito sa Proverbs 28 verse 25. Mag-ingat po tayo dito, mga kapatid. Minsan, wala ka naman ginagawa. Ang dahil mo pang sinasabi. You are critical. That's the root of pride. Tingnan niyo sa Proverbs 28 verse 25. Look at what the Bible says. He that is of a proud heart. Anong ginagawa ng tao may abang? Andiyan na kayo? 28:25. He that is of a proud heart. What? Anong ginagawa ng tao may abang? Dinadagdagan pa yung nilalangisan pa yung gaway. Kaya maging maingat tayo sa mayayabang na tao, mga kapatid. Hindi makakatulong yan. Ay, sinabi sa iyo yan. Dapat sinabi sa iyo yan. Ini-spill na lalo yung strife. Pag mayroong ganyan na tao na lumalapit sa sinisinang spirit mo, immediately, huwag mong hayaan, tatandaan niyo po, walang ibang magbabantay ng attitude namin, kundi tayo mismo. Do not allow one person that is proud to destroy your spirit. Are you still there, Carmela? Ministry is not about my comfort zone. Wala ba dyan? Wala ba dyan? Ministry is not about my comfort zone. It's about His calling. May Paul understood this Kaya sabi niya, I neither count my life dear unto myself that I might finish my course with joy and the ministry. Di ba parang pag ang ministry na hirap na, aalis ka na? Listen, ministry is not about self, it's about Christ. Pag naiintindihan mo ang gawain ay sa Panginoon, Lord, hindi na yung gusto ko. Ako po, kung di ako magpapastor, dati talaga ang pangarap ko, maging businessman. At kung hindi maging businessman, makapag-drive ng bus. Taas ng pangarap ko, di ba? Dati mga idol ko yung mga driver ng Victory. Mga gusto ko yung mga drive. Pero na-realize ko, hindi ko pala gusto mag-drive. Salamat na lang, hindi yung gusto ko yung nasusunod, di ba? Paano kaya kung yung gusto natin nasusunod? Hindi may sarap na tayo. Nasa business din naman ako ngayon. Yun nga lang, God's the Lord pa rin. Pero kung ako masusunod, siguro hindi ako masaya. Pero alam mo, kung hahayaan mo ang Panginoon, you will allow the Lord to direct your will. Yun ang pinakamasarap. Pati sa love life mo, hayaan mo ang Lord. The Lord, kung sino ang gusto mo sa buhay ko, ikaw ang masunod. Kasi kung wala, hindi natin nagagalaan yung gusto natin. Pero, dati ayaw mo ng matanda. Ngayon, gusto mo na. Nagbabago-bago di ba? Dati ayaw mo ng ganito. Ngayon, gusto mo na. I-change. Pero ang pinakamaganda mga kapatid, yung desisyon mo nasa kalooban pa rin ng Diyos. Natatandaan niyo po ang kalooban ng Diyos involves 3 things. Paano ko malalaman nasa kalooban pa ako ng Diyos? God's will involves God's Word. And God's Word involves God's Word involves God's Word. Malalaman kung kalooban niyo ng Diyos pag yan ay nasa Biblia. You do not go against the Word of God. And if you don't go against the Word of God, saan ka matatagpuan? Gumagawa sa kalooban ng Diyos. Kaya pag ikaw inaalis ka sa pagsisimba, sa pag-minister, huwag mo sabihin pagpapala yan at kalooban niya ng Lord. Because God's will involves God's Word and Word. Kaya pag inaalis na yung ministry mo pakunti-kunti, natatamlay ka na, nawawala na yung puso mo sa paglilingkod, nawawala ka na sa kalooban ng Diyos. Tignan mo si Apostle Paul, kahit anong problema ang dumating sa kanya, why he was still unmoved? Because of God's will. Kung tatanungin siya, ano yung kalooban niya? He was persecuting. He was a persecutor, di ba? Kung siya yung tatanungin niyo ba, gusto niya ba yung naranasan niya? Hindi. Pero ano pa rin sabi niya, Lord, alam ko dito kita manunugod eh. He had that kind of attitude in mind. At ganun din po sa ating mga kapatid. I-value natin ang kalooban ng Diyos kaysa sa gusto natin. Secondly, not only he learned to value God's will, he learned to value God's will more than his will. Second is this. He learned to value Christ's message more than himself. Someone said, God sometimes allows mess in our lives so that He can have a message for our life. And sometimes may mga mess ang buhay natin na babalikan natin, ayaw natin mangyari. Pero it's so happening. So sometimes God allows that to happen. Do you think accidental na si Apostol na Pablo ay mamamatay tao? Do you think it was an accident that Paul was a persecutor? He was an injurious? No, it's not an accident. Basahin niyo pa lang sa Acts chapter 9, nung siya'y naligtas, inutusan ng Panginoon si Ananias, na sabi niya, Ananias, you go to Apostle, you go to Saul. Sabi ni Ananias, paano pupunta ako dyan? Alam mo na mga matay tao yan. Pinakita ko na sa kanya how he must suffer for me. Kakaligtas niya palang alam niya na ang mensahe ng Panginoon sa kanya, maghihirap siya. Prior to his service. He knew that already. Pero bakit, kahit alam niya na, magsasuffer siya for Christ, bakit hindi pa rin siya na-move? Kasi alam niya, yung suffering niya will turn out for God's message. Alam niyo ba lahat ng buhay natin message yan? Kaya inaalok ng Panginoon mahirapan, magkasakit, maranas na kung ano-ano, para ang makitang mensahe, hindi yung mensahe mo, kundi yung mensahe ng Diyos sa buhay mo. Go to Philippians chapter 1, verse 27. I'll show you. Philippians chapter 1, verse 20. Yan yung attitude ni Apostle Paul, ha? Philippians chapter 1, in verse 20. Are there? Masahin natin para hindi kayo matagin. Ready all together? Begin. According to my earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but that with your boldness as always, so now also Christ shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. See that? Sabi niya, wala akong pakialam, as long that Christ is being magnified in my body, so be it. Why? He valued Christ's message. He said in Acts 20:24, to testify the gospel of the grace of God. Now when someone look at your life, what will they see? Will they see faithfulness in your life? Will they see Christ? Sasabihin, kung ilang mo si tipong nakakatuwa, kahit nahihirapan, nakita-kita ang Panginoon sa buhay niya. Di ba ang sarap nun? Kung isang tayo, wala lang tayong jowa, wala lang tayong girlfriend o boyfriend, we are so concerned in ourselves. Ayaw mo sabihin nila, huwag mo hayaan mo yung sabihin ng tao, hayaan mo yung sasabihin ng Diyos. Yun ang pinakamahalaga. Ano ngayon? Lahat pa ng may edad, dapat may boyfriend at girlfriend. Bakit? O kung matanda ka at 30 ka na, wala ka pang girlfriend o boyfriend, nakakaya ba yun? Magpasalamat ka na, single ka, wala kang problema eh. Alam mo, minsan, yung mga girlfriend, boyfriend eh, instrument sa spiritual life natin eh. Hello? Imbis na natutulog ka na, nag-chat ka pa. Imbis na nagme-meditate ka, inaaway ka. Realidad dyan ang relasyon, di ba? Kaya ang ganda ng binata eh. Ang ganda ng binata talaga, walang nang-i-store mo sa'yo. Pero yun mo, girlfriend mo pa lang, seloso na agad. Selosa. Mapatigit na, paano mo asawa mo na? Hello? OA? Pag may asawa ka na, wala ka, hindi oras mo eh. Kaya nga tayo ngayong people, huwag tayo nagmamadali. Merong tamang panahon at tamang tao na ibibigay ang Diyos. Isabihin mo, tatanda na ba akong ganito? Ano ngayon, si Ma'am Joanne na eh. Kala niya hindi na siya makapag-asawa. Nagkaroon din siya ng problema, sabi ni Papa, Joanne, maghintay lang, mayroong tamang panahon. She got married at the age of 37 years old. Kala niya hindi siya magkakanak. She was very blessed by 8 children. Bakit? May perfect timing ng Lord eh. Kung isang pamamadali mo ng pamamadali, yung end up na mali ng desisyon. Wala na, hindi mo na maibalik na. Hindi mo na maibalik. Kaya nga ang sarap habang binatag talaga ka pa lang. Diba? Enjoyin mo na yan. Kasi darating ang panahon para lang kayo magtropa. Para lang kayo, minsan wala na yung kilig, di ba? Minsan, ayaw mo na makita eh. Ikaw na naman. Minsan, nakakasawa naman eh, di ba? Eh, I'd like to encourage young people, huwag kayong umakbo na para kayong mag-asawa. Kung mag-girlfriend pa lang kayo. You do the petting, you do the holdiness, you spend too much time together. Huwag kayong magkalala pag nag-asawa kayong dalawa, hindi na kayong mag-iwalay. At ang asawa ay sinali mo susawana. Mananawa kayo sa isa't isa. Eh minsan, mag-girlfriend pa lang kayo, nagkakasawaan na kayo eh. Bakit? Masyado kayo nagtanawan ng oras eh. Kaya kung minsan yung mga pangit natin nakaraan, di ba blessing yan? Tatandaan mo lahat ng pangit natin nakaraan, pwedeng gamitin niya ng Panginoon pag minagnify mo yung grace niya. That's what Paul did in his life. Bakit siya, kahit ang dami ng problema, pangit ng nakaraan niya, hindi siya nahihiya kahit sabihin niya, oh, before I was a persecutor, injurious, but I obtained mercy. Anong minagnify niya sa buhay niya? Diyan mo na mga please. Lord, hindi ako parapat-dapat na may maligaw sa akin, Pastor. I am unworthy. Hindi dapat yung sense of unworthiness mo, lalong nagdadala sa iyo ng pagiging tamad. Hindi pagiging tamad. Ang blessing ko, lalo tayong dapat ginagawa pagmahal sa Lord. Pinapalapit tayo lalo sa Lord, hindi pinapalayo. Anong binabali mo? Sarili mo ay message ng Lord. Kaya kahit mahirapan siya eh. Anong sabi niya? Lord, kung ako mamamatay dito, whether it be by life or by death, as long that you are magnified in my body, so be it. Naalala niyo si Lazarus kung namatay? Anong sabi ng paano namatay si Lazarus? Namatay niya para sa kaluwalhatian ko. Kaya sa buhay natin mga kapatid, wala pong dapat disappointments. Tinatanggal ng Panginoon ng isa sa mga buhay natin yung mga bagay na ayaw niya kasi. Bakit? So that pag nakita ka ng tao, ang makita yung mensahe ng Diyos. Uy, alam mo, nakita si Angela. Alam mo, nung ito ay young people pa lang, faithful na. Kahit walang boyfriend, ito talagang napaka-faithful. Kahit may edad na naglilingkod pa rin. Hindi mo alam, may tumitingin sa atin, mga kapatid. If we're not aware, we will lose our influence to them. Bakit si Apostle Paul, kahit hanggang ngayon, napakatindi ng influence sa atin? Because of his life. His message is, his life is really a message. It's a message of grace. It's a message of mercies. It's a message of Christ. Faithfulness. Kamusta yung buhay mo? Magtitignan yung buhay mo. Ano makikita? Sarili o yung mensahe ng Diyos? Huwag po tayo selfish mga kapatid. Sapagkat ang taong mayabang, always think more of self instead of thinking more of Christ. Yung kanyang isip is, finish my course with joy. Hindi lang naalala yung special day ko, nagkakampo ka na. Hindi naalala yung lamang pumating sa akin. Eh di batiin ka lang yung sarili mo. Kung wala ka sa sabi mo, happy birthday to you. Eh di masaya ka pa. Total is God who sustain you all throughout these years. Hindi, wala ka na regalo mo. Paano ka makakabuhay ka pa nga? Kailangan, ang problema sa atin, kaya mabilis tayo masaktan, mayabang tayo eh. Hello? Isip mo lang din yan. Nasaktan na yung emosyon mo, yung na, BUMP, sinabi sa akin kumatangga. Kumatangga, tapabi mo na. Kasama yung sa character pruning ng Lord eh. Nag-effort ako, tapos di pinahalagahan. Tandaan po, nagyabang sa atin, nasa atin lang yan. Pag hindi tayo naging mag-ingat, yan ang magpapabagsak sa atin. Third, not only he valued God's will more than his will, he valued Christ's message more than himself. Last is this. He valued Christ's grace more than his life. He said in Acts chapter 20, verse 24, the ministry which I have received of the Lord Jesus to testify, ano to testify niya? The gospel of the grace of God. Now listen to this. We know that pride is the enemy of grace. James 4:6 tells us that God resisted the proud, but He given more grace to the humble. Alam mo, makikita ko sa buhay ni Apostle Paul kung saan siya grateful. Saan siya grateful? Sa grace of Lord. Hindi sa material eh. Basahin mo ang buhay niya, ang dami niyang pinagdaanan, wala nga siyang material eh. Halos hindi ka siya kumakain sa gutom eh. Dahil walang pagkain eh. Naghihirap siya, may sakit siya. Wala nga umaalala sa kanya eh. Pero basahin mo Philippians chapter 4, nag-self-pity ba siya? Tayo wala nang umalala sa atin, wala nang naganda ng pagkain, nasakta na tayo eh. Di ba nila akong pinapahalagaan? Ganyan pagtrato tingin nila sa akin. Mayabang ka. Yan ang pinakapulong-tulong dyan mga kapatid. Basahin mo ang buhay ni Apostle Paul. Hindi siya naalala ng Philippian churches, ng mga churches na kanyang simulan. Hindi yan nag-self-pity ba siya? No. Instead, he was rejoicing. Ang sabi niya Philippians 4:2, rejoice evermore, and again, I say, rejoice. Bakit po? Ang minagnify niya sa buhay niya, yung biyaya ng Diyos. Alam mo kaya tayo nakakatayo at hanggang ngayon nakapaglingkod? Hindi naman dahil sa atin eh. It is all because of God's grace. Reklamo sa buhay mo. Reklamo sa mga taong nananakit sa'yo. Ba't di mo pasalamatan ng biyaya na meron ka? Na kahit ano sabihin ng tao na nananatili ka pa rin nakatayo. Di ba blessing yun? Ayan ang minagnify ni Apostle Paul, yung grace ng Panginoon. He said in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, in verses 19, verse 9 and 10, he said, "For I am the least of the apostles, not that I'm meet to be called an apostle, because I persecuted the church of God, but by the grace of God, I am what I am." Masasabi mo ba yan? I am because of I am. No, I am because of God's grace. That's His message. Hindi na-overcome niya ang pride because He valued Christ's grace. Alam mo, taong mayabang, wala sa pakialam sa biyaya ng Lord. Biyaya. Basta gusto ko. You know, grace is what we need to stay on the winning side. We need the grace of God to die and godliness. We need the grace to abound in good works. We need grace to live in righteousness. Pastor chapter 1 said, how can we continue in sin when He died for sin? How can we continue in serving self when we are dying, when we are dead to self? Ano tayo buhay sa Panginoon kung tayo mismo ay hindi patay sa ating sarili? Too many believers would not continue because they are serving self instead of serving Christ. How long in our faithfulness, guys? May sakit ka, may layunin ng Diyos. May purpose ng Diyos. Hindi tayo mananatiling nakatayo at magpapatuloy sa paglilingkod if we will not overcome pride. Lalo na pag ang ministry, there's a threat, even to the pastors. Na pag ang ministry, lumalaki, lumalago, nag-a-acquire ng more material blessings, there's a tendency that the pastor will be proud and say, that's my role. No, it's not. It's not the pastor that builds. It's Christ who builds the church. Hindi naman po ako nagpapalago sa inyo. It's God. Through His Word. Pero hindi tayo mag-iingat. Sabihin, yan natin, kung ano mangyayari sa business, pag di ako nagpalamig. Oy, pag ganyan ang attitude mo, pag nawala ka, ang Lord kaya kang palitan. Hindi ka naman kailangan ng Diyos eh. May ministry, kahit wala ka eh. Sino nawala? Ikaw. Kaya pag meron kang ministry, dapat yung pinagkako mo bilang isang dakilang pribileyo at ilalo ng Diyos. Huwag mong sinasayang. Hindi yung konti lang pinagdaanan mo, ayaw mo lang mag-minister, ayaw mo lang magpalamig. Bakit? I'm wounded, I'm hurt, I'm private problems. Sino mas mahal mo? Sarili mo o Diyos? Don't be full of yourself. Instead, be full of God. Mahirap kung magpatuloy pag tayo, sarili natin, nilalagay natin sa spotlight na gusto natin na papansin din tayo. Gusto natin na pupuri din tayo. Wala namang problema na mapuri, pero huwag kang maging motivated ng puri. Yung mga in-award natin ng mga best last year. Kinuha natin yan sa mga per department ng teachers. Kung sino pa nilang best student. Naalam ko may mga iba sa inyo na blessing at faithful din. Pero isa lang per department ang pipiliin. Maaaring hindi ka dyan napansin. O maaaring na-ingit ka, bakit sila lang kung meron, ako wala. Well, don't allow pride. Nakaingin ka dahil, hindi ako na-recognize, hindi mo na magagawin yan. Wala eh. Kayo nung ginawa. Sa tao. Pag sa tao mo ginawa, kapag di ka na napuri, lungkot ka, sad ka, ayan, hindi mo na ako na-recognize. Are you motivated by pride or are you motivated by the love of Christ? Paul was unmoved because the love of Christ constrained him. Minsan, nasigawan ka lang. Ganun na, hindi ko makagawin sa ito. Wala eh. Ano tayo agad eh. Kumbaga, mabilis tayo mawala sa likod mo. So, 3 things so that we will keep standing. Number 1, what's number 1? Don't allow people to move you. What did Apostle Paul do? He kept serving, he kept sowing, and he kept sowing, he kept serving. Ano ba isang S? Ha? He kept sacrificing. Number 2, he did not allow problems to move him. What did he do? He was burdened for God, he was pleased for the things of God, and he was bound in the Spirit. Right? He did not allow even pride to move him. Why? Because he valued God's will more than himself. His will. He valued God's message more than himself. And he valued God's grace more than his life. Lord, kahit kumatay ako sa paglilingkod, pabiyayang na naman. Amen? Eh, minsan hindi naman namamatay, ayaw ko na eh. Bakit? Punong-puno ng sarili. Kaya yung pag-drive mo, yung pag-tulong mo, yung pag-bilingkod mo, pag-bibigay mo, gawin mo lahat sa Lord. Kasi pag mo ginawa sa Lord, hinayaan mo yung pride, kainin ang puso mo, o later, o hindi sa'yo, hindi ako napansin, ayoko na kong gawin ito. Wala, dinala mo yung pride to steal your joy. What happens? You won't serve. Hindi naman kung madali maglingkod eh. Madali ba? Kasi kung madali maglingkod, hindi lahat sana maglingkod. Pero bakit hindi lahat naglilingkod? Yung iba, na-move ng tao, maaaring may ibang tao nakasakit sa kanila, yung iba, maraming may problema, yung iba, dahil sa yabang. And you have to keep reminding myself as well. Kahit na anong gawin sa'yo ng tao, iwan ka man, ano man ang sabihin sa'yo, do not allow pride. Di mo ang gagawin sa kanya, tignan natin. May mapatigan, di pa tayo bugali. Hindi mo namamalayan. Unti-unti ka na kinakain na tayo, baka mamaya wala ka sa kalooban ng Diyos. Tinira ko ni Raspol! Kulang na lang pagiging ang pangalan ko, kahit na. A person who is not proud will accept negative things. Paano magpapit yung maling sa'yo? Ayaw mo naman. Kasi our attitude will be sure to do. Ayaw ko naman lingkod kasi hindi na ako pinapansin, hindi na ako masaya. Bakit? Mahalaga ba yung masaya kasi ginagawa ko, masaya ng Diyos? Dapat nagpapasaya sa atin kung ano ang nagpapasaya sa Diyos. Lord, kung nagpapasaya siya, kaya itong bagay ito, kaya kailangan ka ng bagay ito. Do not ever allow pride to steal our joy in serving the Lord. Paul said, but none of these things could be, neither count my life here unto myself, that I might finish my course with joy in the ministry which I have received of the Lord Jesus, to testify the great gospel of the grace of God. This morning, the message is very simple. You need to make yourself this morning to say, Lord, tulungan mo ako na hindi tao kapaan sa akin. Hindi problema na. Ano ka ng problema ang aking maranasan? I will still faithful to you. I will remain faithful. And even pride, kahit Panginoon yabang, tulungan mo ako. Meron kang yabang sa puso natin. You come to the Lord and say, Lord, forgive me for being proud. So, saan na po sa Lord's Prayer? Panginoon, salamat po ngayong umaga. Sa kadakilaan ng inyong mga salita, nagpapaalala sa amin na para kami manatiling nakatayo sa inyong kaloob at kagustuhan. Huwag namin hayaan ang tao ng aming kaligayahan sa paglilingkod. Even problems and even pride, dear God, constantly we battle with pride. And help us, Lord, to be humble before you. At tanggalin namin, Panginoon, ng aming sariling kagustuhan at hayaan namin ang kayo po ang pumilo sa aming mga buhay. Thank you so much, Lord, for this wonderful message here this morning. I about the life of the Apostle Paul, that in spite of people, problems, pride, he was still unmoved. And it's possible for us, Lord, na sabihin namin at the end of the road, we will say, I have fought a good fight, I have kept the faith, I have finished my course. Yes, everyone will come to the altar in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Altar is now open. Yes, you need to come this morning. You say to the Lord, Lord, help me to be at home. Whatever happens in my life, I will remain faithful. God bless you.